Welcome back, everyone. In this section, let's talk about the projects, sample projects which you can do with Raspberry Pi. As I said in previous session, some of the programming languages which you can use with Raspberry Pi consists of Scratch, Python, Java, jQuery, Perl, C++, HTML. Although Python is kind of a common language which is used by everyone, but there is a high probability that you can always use other programming languages. And Docker is most recent support to Raspberry Pi for versions 3 plus as well as 0, wherein you can set up containers and you can run Docker on containers on Raspberry Pi. That's great. So I'll just go through like few projects just so that you get an idea, but don't get too much concerned about the architecture design, how complicated it could be to prepare the project. But in other slides, I'm going to talk about how we can implement a couple of projects. Okay. So this is a weather station. So somebody developed a Raspberry Pi based weather station. So what they have done, as you can see, they are connected Raspberry Pi to an external monitor, and they are actually talking to an weather API to get the data. That's just a cool project. And this is a smart pet treater. This is one of the project which I did for a local science exhibition. So I have a pet which stays at home almost 8 hours a day when I and my wife go out for working. So I came up with an idea wherein using a mobile app, I can click a button and that would send out a command to my this treater box which I have stored at my house, which will dispatch the treat. So how it actually works is I just click a button and then it goes to talks to an external API, and eventually it will trigger the servo motor which is inside this particular box. Okay, so first it will play some music, that's what it says, and then that music is basically to attract the dog, and once the dog comes nearer it will identify using a motion sensor. Okay, there's a motion sensor attached to this, then it will find out that hey, the dog has arrived. So I'll be holding this mobile app and I'll get to know all the status that's are happening, and then once the dog arrives it will dispatch the treat and it will take a picture and it will email me the picture, and that's what it says, the email. So this was a cool thing and it really works great, and I can talk to you about the design here, how this is how I created this. So when I say actor, this is me holding the mobile app. So when I click a button, it actually goes to the Twilio. Twilio is one of the API through which you can integrate telephones, calls, and SMS. So that Twilio is actually talking to one of the API I have hosted on AWS. So this API will be listened by this Raspberry Pi, which is inside my house. And this dog is actually comes and picks the treat once it gets dispatched. It's a cool project, and I highly encourage you to try it out. It's very nice, especially if you have a pet. You won't regret doing this project. And another project is FM radio. So this is something which I found from online. So somebody has developed an FM radio. As I said, there are a couple of GPIO pins which you can use for FM transmission. Okay, and I'll cover that in other projects when we start talking about more about FM transmissions. And this is a cool project. So basically, they have open up a mobile app which actually talks to a server hosted on this Raspberry Pi, and you can get lots of stations. This is one of the amazing project. And here is a camera module based project. So basically, you can connect the camera module to Raspberry Pi. This has a camera here, and you can do lots of image recognition. You can talk to AWS image recognition software called AWS recognition service, and you can read nameplates from car. Okay, so basically, if you want to see uh, the characters or the numbers on nameplate while you're driving, you can always place this Raspberry Pi in front of your car, and you can get those characters or numbers on the nameplate. Like that, you can also find out if any celebrities recognition, right? If you can show a picture of a celebrity like Bill Gates, and it will identify that, hey, this image belongs to Bill Gates. So there are lots of cool projects which you can do with image sensor. And I can go on forever talking about the projects, but I would strongly encourage you to subscribe to a magazine called Magpie. This is very, very specific to Raspberry Pi. So this has lots of projects, and they come out with a session edition, sorry, every month. So if you want to get a print subscription, I think there is a charge for that. And but if you want to get a download option, is free. So you can always get a free PDF version which you can refer it. I'll show you what I mean. So here is the Magpie Magazine website which I said. So basically you just go here, and if you subscribe, there's a cost for that. And if you want a just free PDF version, you can just download it and you can view it. And if you're new, and it's good to get a printed copy, because sometimes they give free hardware. So in this one, they say that they are giving away free Raspberry Pi Zero kit. That's great, right? The Raspberry Pi Zero kit costs almost like $20 sometimes, and they're giving this as a free hardware along with this magazine. If you are very comfortable, and if you have all the components of Raspberry Pi, and if all you want to do is just to view the projects available for Magpie, you can just download the free PDF and you can see it. And here is a one of the magazines I downloaded just to show it to you. This is great. Like, this is the edition, most recent edition, and you can just scroll down and you can see all the projects that lots of people have been doing. Okay, and I haven't read most of this, but you can make out, looking at this magazine, how creative students are. And as I said in one of the previous sessions, this Raspberry Pi is a great computer, especially in a schools based areas where children doesn't have access to a bigger computer like a Mac or a Windows 10, right? So it really helps them. So check out this magazine, it's great. And I think this guy has done something related to image recognition, I guess. This is great and awesome. Like, you'll be amazed how creative people are when you read such magazines. Along with this, there's also a website called project.raspberry pi, where you can go and search project based on your interests. So in this case, if I want to try something based on Raspberry Pi, I can go in here and I can even pick the level. If you're more of a developer, you can say developer and it will show specific to developer. And here is there something they have created a lamp web server. It's great. And it's a building a line following robot. Awesome. So basically this follows a line with the Raspberry Pi inside it. And see here, exact. So they usually talk about all the materials required step by step, and you will never go wrong with this, because they make sure that they don't skip any steps required to develop these projects. So it's really great website. I kind of go and check out sometime just to get ideas about what projects can be done. And if you're looking to develop some games, you can go select the games option. If you're looking to build something based on robot, you can just click on this and you can see how many projects are there, and you can now click on it and check out. So this is a small robot. Amazing. Like, they have the Raspberry Pi connected to this with two wheels, and it can ride by itself. Basically, I'm guessing they might have some motion sensor through which it can detect the obstacles, but if you read more in this article, you'll get an idea. Okay, so I can go on forever talking about the different projects you can do, or you can do your own research. I strongly encourage you to check out this website, or even you can go to YouTube or just Google for Raspberry Pi project. You will get lots of ideas. Okay, cool. Thanks a lot, everyone, and I'll see you in the next session.